Stokeley, Marshall. Today, the Morning Watch is sponsored by Educom Cooperative Credit Union and also Bashco, the store that gives you more.
Educom does it again with the mega car loan sale. 100% financing, interest rate of 6.95% and up to 10 years to repay. Hurry now and visit any of our 9 branches. Call Educom at 876-926-6973 or WhatsApp 876-559-7575 for more info. Educom Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Value through service.
To Mom with Love, Bashco is giving away 2 refrigerators this Mother's Day. Starting April 24th, for every 6,000 Jamaican dollars inclusive of GCT spent in Bashco, you get a chance to win.
That's right. Just fill out your entry form and drop it in the box provided at all Bashco locations. It's that simple. The winner will be chosen on May 12, 2023 during our fun day at our Manimal store located at 10 Manchester Road.
The more you spend at Bashco, the more chances you have to win.
Check the press and our social media pages for details.
Bashco, the store that gives you more this Mother's Day.
Authorized under Section 58(3) of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Act.
Are you ready for another exciting show inside Alive 1 to 5 this Throwback Thursday, June 8th? Well, join me, your host, Sarah Amber Chirpy Ron, for another time to recollect and reconnect. Stay tuned for the brain testing mental size at 1:45. Then Prayer Blast will be at 2 o'clock. As we ring in the prayer bells of heaven, 2:15 inside music of the past, we share some more historic fun facts. Then at 3 p.m., stay with us for another Memory Lane episode of Make We Talk. All this and more will come alive 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. This Throwback Thursday, June 8th on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM, the number 1 gospel station in Jamaica. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. A special welcome to all listeners on love101.org. And if you are overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you are in the UK, 0330-332-6541. Or join us via the Love 101 FM app. You can download it from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also check us out on Love 101 FM Facebook Live and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, do we have enough skilled workers? And in the second watch, do current events appear to support disciples of Christ being raptured before or after the tribulation? In our social media question we ask, what is your skill? Are you employed? Share your responses on our Facebook or YouTube, Love 101 FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp comments and voice notes too. 9973125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We will share a conversation in the program, but first is I quote.
Good morning, good morning. Today's I quote is an inspiration quote, and it says, "Make each day your masterpiece." And this is by John Wooden.
Well, it seems as if this one speaks for itself, Joker.
Definitely. Nothing more, nothing less. Make
Nothing
each day
more.
your masterpiece.
Nothing more, nothing less. Well, the main watch will be back after this break.
This is exactly what I need.
CNWJ Credit Union has a lifestyle loan. Access your CNWJ CCU lifestyle loan anytime you need it. Whatever your reason, emergencies, special occasions, consolidated debt, or everyday expenses. Your lifestyle, your choice. Approval within 24 hours. Apply today. Get a CNWJ Credit Union loan. It's just what you need. Discover the benefits of belonging.
We've been through hills and valleys and the world was rocking, but the Lord stayed with us for sure. And every time we thought it was over, the Lord gave us hope. of music and family, 30 years of love. We're celebrating 30 years of music and family, 30 years of love. We're celebrating 30 years of love. We're celebrating 30 years of love. We're a family station, spreading love to the nation, through the faces of love far and near. The memories of reaching out to listeners all about it. It's spreading smiles everywhere. So looking back with all you say, the Lord has come to solve His way. And now we're celebrating 30 years of music and family, 30 years of love. We're celebrating 30 years of music and family, 30 years of love. We're celebrating 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 30 years of love. 30 years of love.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the main watch, and a constraint. Well, I'm quoting here from an article in one of the newspapers. A constraint currently facing Jamaica and its investors is that an adequate supply of sufficiently skilled labor to capitalize on the opportunities which will arise, unquote. This was said by Dr. Wayne Henry, Director General of the Planning Institute of Jamaica, the PIOJ, at his quarterly press briefing last week, Tuesday. Do we really not have enough skilled workers? Well, let us try to find that out today. We have as our guests to help us in terms of figuring this out, Kavan Gayle, Senator Kavan Gayle, President of the Bustamante Industrial Trade Union, and Rochelle James, representative of the Caribbean Society for HR Professionals. Rochelle James, Senator Gayle, good morning to the both of you.
Good morning, Stokeley. Morning, Rochelle.
Hi, Kavan. Morning.
Good morning to your listeners.
Now jumping, thank you. Now jumping right into it. You know, I was going to start with the Senator, but let me ask the representative of the Caribbean Society for HR Professionals, Rochelle James.
Yeah.
As a representative of that society, what is your response? Do we have enough skilled workers?
Well, I tend to agree with the views shared in the article. My concern, though, is not just whether or not we have sufficient skilled workers, but are persons as interested in employment as they were before? Because more and more Jamaicans, I find, are juggling multiple roles, but are also working locally for international companies. So right now, in terms of the job market, when we're advertising for vacancies, you're not just competing against local entities for talent, but you're competing in a global space.
Okay. I think I know what you mean, Rochelle James. But explain, for example, in a specific case, without naming any names, what does that mean about in terms of persons working here, but they're working in international markets or they're juggling roles? Explain what you mean.
So a good example would be for any company trying to hire a full stack developer, which is the cream of the crop when you're looking for technical person. you are not just competing against other entities who are looking to go digital or are looking to improve their operations here in Jamaica, but you are also now competing against a Google and Amazon companies, because companies that are able to employ persons who can work remotely.
Okay.
Regional
I think we understand you. So what you're saying, Rochelle James. Okay, so what you're saying, Rochelle James, a company in Jamaica is trying to hire a web developer, just for argument's sake.
Yes.
So it's not just other companies in Jamaica trying to find a web developer who are competing against to find that skilled worker. You're competing with companies in India, China, Japan, Singapore, Canada, the USA, and the list goes on, Europe, and the list goes on, in terms of person who wants to find that very same web developer.
Correct.
Mr. James? Yes. Any other comments before we bring in Senator Gayle? Because this is extremely interesting.
I'll pause there.
So you're saying that we don't have enough skilled workers, but of the few that we have, the competition to have them is even higher. Rochelle James, that's what you're saying.
Yes, so we've gone past this phase where when you were recruiting for talent, the focus was on the employer. It is now a candidate job market.
I see. Senator Kavan, Gayle, do we have enough skilled workers? And do you share the concerns of Rochelle James?
So let me join Rochelle in
Mr.
emphasizing
Gayle.
as a reporter. Yes? You hear me? You hear me?
We're hearing it. We are hearing you. There's a slight distortion in both lines, but we are hearing it nonetheless. Let's see if we can resolve it. Go ahead, Senator Gayle.
Let me start by saying and sharing the view that Rochelle has emphasized, in that the labor market no longer has any boundaries or borders or any geographical limitations. So when you're competing for skilled labor, you're competing with a global marketplace. Jamaica, like any other developing state, who would have been seeking to attract investors and also pursuing their own infrastructural development, is going to need a skilled technical workforce to be both competitive in the global economy and also to ensure that the workers participate in the nation's economic growth. And, we have had challenges where workers have not taken the advantage of the opportunities on the return on investment in technical skills in the labor market. And we have also had the situation where some students have failed to complete the training program with the credentials that are required to take up the jobs. And so we have had that challenge where we
Senator Gayle, hold that thought. Senator Gayle, because of Senator Gayle, sir. Senator Gayle, only because of time, but you're making a very interesting point. Don't lose that train of thought. Listeners, we'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
Play your part in helping us become rock solid and ready. For more information on the National Natural Disaster Risk Financing Policy, visit mof.gov.jm. The time by the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service is
7:15 a.m.
Well, if you want buy appliances for your home with the quality high and the price low, get it on Habasco. Get it on Habasco. Be everything what you need. Quality service guaranteed and a Basco. You know how to get you more. Yeah, Basco. Everything for your house, everything for your kitchen, box, and more at Basco. The store that gives you more. Basco.
We're full of life. You're full of love. They're carefree. You care more. That's why we created Child Protector, a critical illness insurance plan from Sagicor Life. It provides coverage for your child in the event of 15 critical illnesses, hospitalization benefits, life insurance, and investment benefits. So make sure your child can live life to the fullest. Apply for Sagicor Child Protector today.
Educom does it again with the mega car loan sale. 100% financing, interest rate of 6.95% and up to 10 years to repay. Hurry now and visit any of our 9 branches. Call Educom at 876-926-6973 or WhatsApp 876-559-7575 for more info. Educom Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Value through service.
Crystal Clear and Sharp Vision Ultra Clear is a total natural herb formulated to activate the adult replacement stem cells in your body, sending them to the eyes to repair the damaged cells. Take 1 teaspoon daily in hot water and watch the improvement in your vision. To get yours, call Hafco Herbs 876-540-8871. That's 540-8871 or WhatsApp 533-0462.
Join us Thursday, June 8 at 5:30 p.m. on the Truly Marvelous program To Have and To Hold as we bring to you this week No Grudges, Fighting Fair and Forgiving Quickly with our co-host Pastor Napoleon Black and host Colleen Beckles right here on Love 101, the family station, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Are you ready for another exciting show inside Alive 1 to 5 this Throwback Thursday, June 8th? Well, join me, your host, Sarah and the Chirpy Ron, for another time to recollect and reconnect. Stay tuned for the brain testing exercise at 1:45. Then Prayer Blast will be at 2 o'clock as we ring in the prayer bells of heaven. 2:15 inside Music of the Past. We share some more historic fun facts. Then at 3 p.m., stay with us for another Memory Lane episode of Make Me Talk. All this and more will come alive 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. This Throwback Thursday, June 8th on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
What the way things are heat up. Woo-hoo! I mean, can't wait for the road this summer. Oh yes, folks, summer's hot, and so is the I Love Summer Road Tour. We are counting down the weeks to the minutes, even the seconds we are counting, and we're making sure it will be fun galore. So catch your vibes and put on your fun face. I Love Summer is coming to take over the place. I Love Summer coming to a town near you. This Jamaican summer going nice, you see. I Love 101 summer event. Relay for Life is back this Saturday, June 10. You're invited to Walk for Life. Be a part of Relay for Life presented by the Jamaica Cancer Society, Walking Together with Hope. This Saturday, June 10, 6 p.m. at the Police Officers Club, 34 Hope Road. Join them as the society will pause to remember those who lost the fight to cancer and cheer on those who are still winning. If you want to register to be a part of the Walk for Hope, call 876-927-3317 or 301-0346. Registration ends Friday, June 9. Relay for Life, Walking Together with Hope. Saturday, June 10, beginning at 6 p.m. through the night until 6 a.m. on Sunday. The highlights will be on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Welcome back to the morning. Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the main watch, and our guests in this main watch, we have Senator Kavan, Gayle, and Rochelle James. Rochelle James is representative of the Italian Society for HR Professionals, and Kavan Gayle, of course, president of the Boston Industrial Trade Union, and the topic is, do we have enough skilled workers? Senator Gayle, just before the break, you're making some extremely important points. We don't want you to lose your train of thought. Please continue, because it seems as if we're in a new paradigm where the labor market is concerned. Go ahead, Senator Gayle.
So I was saying that with the investor attraction and our own infrastructural development, we are going to need skilled laborers, and we have to compete globally for the skilled laborers. I also made the point that, some students might not be completing their training programs with the credentials required to take on these new jobs. So we have to now do an assessment of what are those skills that are required for competition in the labor market.
Yes, and Senator Gayle, just for the benefit of the listeners, sir, some of the jobs that workers are competing to get skilled workers for in relation to are where if the Jamaican skilled worker gets the job, they might not necessarily have to go on a plane and fly to that country. Isn't that so?
That's so. Because
they can stay at home, have good internet, and do the work remotely from here in Jamaica.
Yeah, man. The world of work has changed because of technology and because of an investment in digitalization. You can work is not of any defined geographical space. You now have a flexible work arrangement where you can work from practically anywhere if you have internet connection.
You might have a supervisor who you have never met in person.
You have never seen.
Never seen in person.
And so outside of that, there are some industries that are requiring competitive, high-skilled labor. We're talking about the hospitality industry. We're talking about the BPOs. We're talking about the ICT. We're talking about manufacturing and production. And we cannot leave out the agricultural sector. So these, in fact, are priority areas of the government that needs to be upskilled and needs to be trained by utilizing the resources of HEART, like an entity like HEART, which is the National Training Agency. But we ought not to just shoot in the breeze when we're talking about training. There has to be some empirical study or data gathering in terms of the skill set that is required. And so we must drive and enhance policy based on gathering the empirical data. The good news is that there is now a new ministry that is being established to treat with the need for this development and maintaining of a robust, skilled technical workforce. But Rochelle made an important point, because there might be plenty of workers, and there might be people to fill jobs, but are there enough jobs that the people want? So are we providing the jobs that the people actually want? And so
let's bring her back into this again, because I was going to ask something else, but you just raised a very interesting point here too. Rochelle James, in your capacity with the Kavan Society for HR professionals, okay, is it that some of the jobs that are out there are not desirable? Whether because of low pay or lack of prestige, or it's not considered to be a nice job, it's an unpleasant job. And when we're talking about the skilled labor, my apologies, what about those who don't have a skill? Are they being left behind? Go ahead, Rochelle James.
All right, so let me start with the fact that because we are operating in a globalized job market, what you're going to find is that the jobs are not as important as the working environment. COVID has left us with a unique situation where persons appreciate and understand, are very comfortable with being employed because they're unemployed because they put things in place to support their financial sustainability. And also because of the good work of entities like that of Senator Gayle, the employee is not going to work in an environment that has certain policies and structures that they don't feel comfortable or they understand their entitlement to better. Because of that, if your working environment doesn't allow for proper work-life balance and flexibility, you're going to find that the employee is not going to be interested or attracted to working there. Now, I think I can speak for most HR practitioners and business owners who've had the experience where you found a very strong candidate. You are interested in working with them. You've offered them a job, and one of two things happen. They start asking you about work from home, work-life balance, job flexibility, flexible working hours. And based on how you respond to that, they may decline the offer long before they've said anything to you about salary. And secondly, they may accept the offer but have got multiple counter offers before the start date. So the competition is real, but how you structure your working environment as an employer has to be far more employee-centric.
Very interesting. You know, only because we are, based on the environment that we're in, do you believe that there is a good Rochelle James from AI, artificial intelligence?
Well, definitely, especially because we have not taken the steps to use it effectively. And the acronym for our organization is C#. And at C#, what we've started doing with our members is working through a policy to support AI in the workplace. Because what is happening too is that those who have just been exposed to platforms like ChatGPT are using it to replace their own brain power, which diminishes their capacity as an employee and their value to the organization. So we need to take steps to ensure that as employers, we are preparing employees to use these tools as they come on stream, but they are just that, they're tools. They're not intended for replacement, and they will create new job opportunities. And I'll say this quickly. For those of your listeners who probably watched shows back in the day, like Family Matters, you'll remember that episode where Harriet lost her job, and Harriet was an elevator operator. But there was another job that was possible for her to get later on in a supervisory capacity. So as Kavan mentioned, it is important for those who may be considered unskilled to start upgrading themselves using a lot of the facilities that are already available through HEART and other entities, because the Jamaican labor force is attractive to everyone else because of how we are trained. And the more we become exposed as a country, the more persons get to interact with us as Jamaicans. They find it attractive to hire and recruit from not just the Caribbean region, but specifically from Jamaican shores.
Senator Gayle, the PIOJ indicated through its Director General that there is a challenge with having skilled labor here in Jamaica. Whether or not you disagree with them, any comments before we wrap?
I'm not in disagreement. Every country has to assess the skilled labor that is required.
So you don't disagree, but what about those who are being left behind? Unskilled? What about the unskilled who are being left behind now, sir?
And so the unskilled that is being left behind, there has to be a commitment to attract them into training programs that are swift enough to turn them out where they can gain sustainable employment.
Thank you for that comment, Senator Gayle, because I think we have to leave it there this morning, but we hear you loud and clear. persons need to upgrade themselves as best they can. Thank you so much, Senator Gayle, as well as Rochelle, James, for your time and for your thoughts. Listeners, don't go anywhere at all. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
JN Bank Small Business Loans. Tell us your business and let's turn your ambitions into reality. The time by JN Bank Small Business Loans is
7:30.
Well, if you want buy appliances for your home with the quality high and the price low, get it on Habashco. Get it on Habashco. Habashco. Be everything what you need. Quality service guaranteed on Habashco. Get it on Habashco. Get you more. Yeah, Habashco. Furniture for your house, and everything for your kitchen, box, and more at Habashco. The store that gives you more. Habashco.
Educom does it again with the mega car loan sale. 100% financing, interest rate of 6.95% and up to 10 years to repay. Hurry now and visit any of our 9 branches. Call Educom at 876-926-6973 or WhatsApp 876-559-7575 for more info. Educom Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Value through service.
Follow Grace Sardine, better flavor. Grace Sardine with the chef and the beginner. Follow the one with pepper, that are the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody sell it. You all of them nice. Pass the part, make push it.
Grace Sardines, follow the better flavor.
Are you ready for another exciting show inside Alive 1 to 5 this Throwback Thursday, June 8th? Well, join me, your host, Sarah Amber Chirpy One, for another time to recollect and reconnect. Stay tuned for the brain testing mental size at 1:45. Then Prayer Blast will be at 2 o'clock as we ring in the prayer bells of heaven. 2:15 inside Music of the Past. We share some more historic fun facts. And then at 3 p.m., stay with us for another Memory Lane episode of Make Me Talk. All this and more will come alive 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. This Throwback Thursday, June 8th on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Join us Thursday, June 8 at 5:30 p.m. on the Truly Marvelous program To Have and to Hold as we bring to you this week No Grudges, Fighting Fair and Forgiving Quickly with our co-host Pastor Napoleon Black and host Colleen Beckles right here on Love 101, the family station, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Well, welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Let's take a look now at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. And by newspapers, we mean news sources online. We turn to the Gleaner online. We have here a story. Flight attendant held for alleged cocaine smuggling at Sangster Airport. We move over to the Observer. Bunting exonerated by Integrity Commission over gun licenses. Montague cries bias. And in Luke, Jamaica news, we have here high drama in St. Catherine as cops shot at, man killed, and body found. There was high drama Wednesday at a section of Hillshire Main Road in St. Catherine as gunmen and cops exchanged gunfire. When the smoke cleared, one man was killed, another was on the run, and a body was found with the hands and feet bound. Very concerning, those and many other stories in our various news sources. Of course, coming up next, we'll read some of the feedback from our Facebook and WhatsApp question, which is, what is your skill? Are you employed? If you haven't done so yet, leave a comment on our Facebook or YouTube. Love 101 FM Jamaica Live, and also WhatsApp comments and voice notes too. 876-997-3125 using hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll be right back.
Are you ready for another exciting show inside Alive 1 to 5 this Throwback Thursday, June 8th? Well, join me, your host, Sarah and the Chirpy One, for another time to recollect and reconnect. Stay tuned for the brain testing mental-size at 1:45. Then prayer blast will be at 2 o'clock as we ring in the prayer bells of heaven. 2:15 inside music of the past. We share some more historic fun facts. Then at 3 p.m., stay with us for another Memory Lane episode of Make Me Talk. All this and more will come alive 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. This Throwback Thursday, June 8th on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Join us Thursday, June 8th at 5:30 p.m. on the Truly Marvelous program To Have and To Hold as we bring to you this week No Grudges, Fighting Fair and Forgiving Quickly with our co-host Pastor Napoleon Black and host Colleen Beckles right here on Love 101, the family station, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Relay for Life is back this Saturday, June 10. You're invited to Walk for Life. Be a part of Relay for Life presented by the Jamaica Cancer Society, Walking Together with Hope. This Saturday, June 10, 6 p.m. at the Police Officers Club, 34 Hope Road. Join them as the society will pause to remember those who lost the fight to cancer and cheer on those who are still winning. If you want to register to be a part of the Walk for Hope, call 876-927-3317 or 301-0346. Registration ends Friday, June 9. Relay for Life, Walking Together with Hope. Saturday, June 10, beginning at 6 p.m. through the night until 6 a.m. on Sunday. The highlights will be on the family station, Love 101, celebrating 30 years of music, family, and love.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. Let's join Jakal for a look at how our Facebook and WhatsApp friends answered today's question. What is your skill? Are you employed? Jakal.
Yes, so I do have some responses here. I have one from Edna. Edna said a voice note. Let's hear what she said.
My skill, good morning, Morning Watch. I have a lot of skill area, but not certified. I have in cooking, child care, and elderly care. At the moment, I'm a caregiver. Yes, at the moment. Yes, and I also in housekeeping, all those skills I have, but uncertified. Yeah. But as I say, at the moment, I'm a caregiver.
That was from Edna in Montego Bay. Angela Masters from Yorton said, "Good morning to you all. Yes, I have a job. I cooked or I cook. I've been cooking for years in a basic school, and I love my job and appreciate my boss and my co-workers." All right, so Angela is looking for a raise. Angela Masters, please raise her pay. Yeah, man, she love our co-workers and our boss. Hallelujah. Rose from Hampton says, "I think we could do with some more skilled workers in order to spread across the world." She said, yes, she has a skill. And we have some more, but because of time, we'll leave it right there.
Very interesting, Jakal. And this matter of being certified is coming up again. I'm seeing electrical welding. That is it Yeshika Patterson? I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing the first name correctly, but that individual says electrical welding. Very interesting indeed. Well, we move right into the second watch. You know, this Jakal, before we go into the second watch fully, I think this matter of skilled work and skilled labor is going to come up again and again and again because of the kind of world we're living in today. But we move right into the second watch. And do current events in the world today appear to support disciples of Christ being raptured before or after the tribulation? How do we know for sure? Do some people even believe in the rapture or the tribulation? Our guest this morning are Reverend O'Neill Brown, pastor of the Ebony Vale Baptist Church, and Evangelist Joseph Buckland, lecturer, Jamaica School of Preaching and Biblical Studies International. Pastor Brown, Evangelist Buckland, good morning to you both.
Good morning, Mr. Marshall. Thanks for having us on the program.
Good morning, Mr. Marshall.
Not a problem at all. Not a problem at all. Always good having guests on the Morning Watch to discuss interesting topics. Now, do you believe in the rapture? I gather that word is not in the Bible the way that we understand it, or it's not in the Bible at all. Joseph Buckland, Evangelist, any comments?
Yes, the word rapture means to be caught up. And the expression to be caught up is found in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4 and verses 16 and 17, which says, "For the Lord himself shall descend from heaven with a shout, with the voice of the archangel and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Then we which are alive and remain shall be caught up." So there are the words, caught up, together with them in the clouds, to meet the Lord in the air, and so shall we ever be with the Lord. So the concept is there. Even though the name itself is not there, the idea of being caught up to meet the Lord is found in that scripture.
Now, what is the tribulation, Evangelist Buckland? What is the tribulation?
Okay, the tribulation is not just the tribulation, because God's people, whether they be the people of Israel in the Old Testament or the church, the followers of Jesus in the New Testament, by nature of our beliefs and practices, are going to face opposition from those that do not agree with our worldview. The moral standards that we have come from God, and he thinks differently from human beings. And therefore, when we stand up for what God says, it is going to bring us into conflict with government and with citizens. And it's going to bring about some backlash. So God's people have always been going through tribulation. But what is described in the Bible is the great tribulation. In other words, this one is different from all the others. This is the worst. Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1 reads, "And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince, which standeth for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time." So this is a tribulation that is unique in that it is worse than any tribulation experienced before. And so it is called the Great Tribulation.
And before we bring in Pastor Brown, do you believe that, in a short answer, Evangelist, whether yes or no, will the rapture be before the tribulation, the great one, the Great Tribulation, or after the Great Tribulation?
Okay.
Or it can't be answered in a simple yes or no.
To whom is this question being addressed?
Directed to you, Evangelist.
Okay. The question that you're asking is, will the rapture take place before the Great Tribulation or after the Great Tribulation?
Yes, sir.
Yes. From what I have studied in the scriptures thus far, I am led to the conclusion that the rapture has to take place before the Great Tribulation.
Hold that thought.
Rather than after.
Hold that thought, Pastor Brown. Pastor Brown, before we head to the break, do you agree with Evangelist Buckland? Will the rapture take place before the Great Tribulation?
No, I don't.
Hold that thought. Listeners, don't go anywhere. Very interesting. They're not agreeing. We want to hear the different perspectives. We'll be right back on the Morning Watch.
Grace 13 for the chef and the beginner. Follow the pan with pepper, that's the winner. Shop on supermarkets, everybody
Grace
sell it.
sardines follow the better flavor.
The time is
7:45.
We can light up your world with the rays of the sun. Putting pure energy in the palm of your hand.
For over 20 years, Fosrich has been putting a world of energy in your hands. Now we bring you big savings with our line of solar energy products and LED lighting. Financing now available for all your home and commercial retrofit projects. Consult with our in-house staff or certified professional engineers for all your electrical needs. Fosrich Lifestyle. It's electric. Fosrich, your energy world.
Educom does it again with the mega car loan sale. 100% financing, interest rate of 6.95% and up to 10 years to repay. Hurry now and visit any of our 9 branches. Call Educom at 876-926-6973 or WhatsApp 876-559-7575 for more info. Educom Cooperative Credit Union Limited. Value through service.
From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on J&B Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jnbank.com to get pre-approved today. J&B Bank will help you find a way.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Stokeley Marshall. We are in the second watch, and the topic in this second watch, we are looking at, do current events appear to support disciples of Christ being raptured before or after the tribulation? Our guests are Reverend O'Neill Brown and Evangelist Joseph Buckland. So far, Evangelist Joseph Buckland has indicated that based on what he has read, the rapture will take place before the Great Tribulation, and Reverend O'Neill Brown has said the opposite, that the rapture will not take place before the Great Tribulation. But let's take a little bit of a step back in terms of some of the current events that have been taking place. I don't know if both of you or either of you will agree or disagree, but in the last few years, we have, as a whole entire world population, if you want to call it that, we have experienced a number of things. Right now, there are protests taking place, I believe, maybe right there in Emancipation Park, about various issues. There were some previous demonstrations in Mandela Park about some various issues, some related to the ones that people are protesting about at Emancipation Park. We had a lot of restrictions in the last couple of years since 2020. And some people, not all, but some people look at these things and begin to question, where are we in the world today? Are we already in some kind of a tribulation? Are we headed in that direction? What does all of this mean? Pastor Brown, your thoughts. You said that we will be going through the tribulation, it seems. That's what you seem to be indicating. Flesh that out for us, please, sir.
All right, let me contextualize this statement. As my brother said, the Great Tribulation was specific to a particular event.
Yes.
And that event was directly related to the destruction of Jerusalem in AD 70. Now, if you read the context of Matthew on the Olivet Discourse in Matthew chapter 24 and 25, you will realize that the main thought being discussed was the destruction of the physical Jerusalem temple. That there will be coming a day when it will no longer, one stone will no longer be left upon another. And the disciples were now asking Jesus, when would this be? And that's where the discourse came about all of this. Now, the evidence of this is right there in the passage. For example, one of the things that you will notice about this Great Tribulation, it will be preceded by the statement of the abomination of desolation, and right after, there will be difficulties. Now, if you can determine what the abomination of desolation is, then you can discern the timeline of the Great Tribulation. And the fact is, Luke chapter 21 and verse 20 says, when you see Jerusalem surrounded by the army, then the desolation has begun. It meant that when the Roman army surrounded Jerusalem in AD 70 for the destruction, that is what was meant by the abomination of desolation. Furthermore, to capitalize on that point, the Roman emperor had a way of carrying around this massive, almost flag-like structure with an eagle and his image on it. And wherever he conquered, he would erect that pole, that flag. This was seen as idol worship, and this is what he would have erected after he demolished Jerusalem and took over the temple. So that was the Great Tribulation. Now, my brother is correct when he says tribulation will continue right throughout the life of the Christian church. And that tribulation is going on now. We will always have hardship because that's what it means, hardship and difficulty. We will always have that. So the Great Tribulation was there in AD 70, but we are still going through.
So you're saying that the Great Tribulation has already passed.
Yes, it was directly related to the Jewish destruction of the temple.
That was in AD 70.
Yes.
Okay. So let's bring back in Evangelist Buckland. We have heard, Evangelist, you have heard what Pastor Brown has said. The Great Tribulation was that which took place in AD 70. Do you agree with that position, Evangelist?
That is one application that has been made of the Great Tribulation in the Bible. We have to take a step back and look at certain interpretations that are made in the Bible. And that is, when we deal with prophecy, there are times when a certain event is a mirror or a type of another event that is to come. For example, Jesus' application of the prophecies in Daniel to the destruction of the temple and of the Jewish people that took place between AD 66 and about AD 70 is one aspect of the Great Tribulation. But it is more than that. During the time of the Grecian Empire, there was an ungodly Grecian king by the name of Antiochus Epiphanes IV, who burnt Bibles, who boiled Jewish people in oil, and who cut off their fingers if they would practice the Jewish religion. And that was a great tribulation taking place. But in Daniel chapter 11, I want you to see how there are different aspects of the Great Tribulation. Daniel chapter 11, verses 36 and 37 says, "And the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelous things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished, for that is determined shall be done. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of woman, nor regard any God, for he shall magnify himself above all." Well, the primary fulfillment of that is in Antiochus Epiphanes trying to destroy the Jewish religion. But yet the Apostle Paul, guided by the Holy Spirit, took the very same words of Daniel chapter 11 and verses 36 to 37, and he applies it in 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verses 3 and 4 to a certain man of sin who is going to oppose God exalt himself above God, call himself God, and that he's going to cause a lot of people to fall away from God and from Christ. And he says that this event
Evangelist
must
Buckland,
take place before Christ returns.
Evangelist
Yes.
Buckland, Daniel 11:36 and 37, which you just read. Is that a
Yes.
description of the Antichrist?
Yeah, that is a description of the Antichrist.
So
And there have been different manifestations of the Antichrist in history.
So stick up in, I'm going to cut to the chase. Those words, not the desire of woman, does it mean that the Antichrist is going to be a homosexual?
Well, I am not certain about the meaning of that.
You don't know the meaning of the words, nor the desire of woman.
I'm not certain of the application of those words, so I cannot really speak definitively on that point.
Well, I'm just listening to what you said, and without adding anything to it or taking anything away from it, and hearing you read those words in their ordinary grammatical meaning. I've read that before, and I've always wondered. But okay, so you are not sure of the application. Okay, I've asked the question, you have answered. So, Evangelist Buckland, having regard to this whole matter of the tribulation and the rapture, you are saying that the Christians will be taken out of the world before the great tribulation. That's what you're saying?
Well, I am not saying that all Christians will be taken out, because we see in the book of Revelation that there will be a remnant of followers of Jesus that are in the world that will go through the great tribulation. But we do find evidences in Revelation, for example, in Revelation chapter 12, that the woman that is thought by some scholars to represent the church, that the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. Now that means, that's Revelation chapter 12, verse 14. That means that she will be taken away from the harm that the devil would want to bring. But what would be left is the remnant of her seed, Revelation 12, verse 17, and the dragon would make war with them, these people who keep the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus. So it seems to be that a lot of the faithful followers of Jesus will be taken away from the harm that the devil will do on the earth to the followers of Jesus, but a remnant will be left behind to be as witnesses for God during that ungodly
so the remnant
period
that
of
would
rule.
be left, so the remnant that would be left behind, Evangelist, is God choosing to leave that remnant behind, or is it that remnant was not purified enough to be caught up in the air with the Lord at the rapture?
Well, I wouldn't really say that they were not purified enough, because in Revelation chapter 14, they are really given high commendation. It says in Revelation 14, verse 4, "These are they which follow the Lamb whithersoever he goeth. These were redeemed from among men, being the first fruits unto God and to the Lamb." So what we have is that a great portion of the followers are taken away from the harm that the devil would want to bring to them. But there's a remnant that is left back on the earth to be witnesses. That is why in Revelation chapter 7, you find that that remnant is sealed, so that when God sends his plagues on the earth, they will not be harmed by the plagues. Only those that don't have that seal. But then you have a great multitude, which no man can number, that don't have that seal, because they don't need it, because they are protected. They are in the presence of God in heaven.
Hold that
So
thought.
during that period of...
Only because of time, Evangelist, I have to just ask you to stop there because of time. We're literally out of time already for the segment, but I'll squeeze in a second or two for you, Pastor. Please give a final word before we wrap this morning, Pastor.
All right, let me just throw the thing in. That image of the woman fleeing would simply be the description of Mary, the birth of Jesus, fleeing before the killing of the firstborn to be protected, to bring about the salvation of the Jews. But
Gentlemen, you have started on a path, Pastor Brown. Obviously, we need additional time. I'm going to specifically ask the producer if you can have both of you back. But I want to thank you for your time and for your thoughts this morning. Never enough time on the Morning Watch, especially for a segment such as this. Obviously, we need more time.
Okay.
Thank you for your time and for your thoughts, gentlemen. And thank you, listeners, for being with us. Visit our Love 101 FM YouTube channel and Facebook page for this and all other Love 101 FM programs. Download our app and stay connected to us, the number 1 gospel station in Jamaica, the number 4 in the island. This has been the Morning Watch. Have a blessed weekend. Join Reverend Dr. Dylan Toussaint next week when he look at other topical and controversial issues. Thanks to our producer, Kathy Gayle, and our guests. I am Stokeley Marshall, and back in the morning with Jacal.